Hey guys, Manny CA here, and today we're going to show you guys how to swage your own 45-70 rounds using dies you've already got at home. And here you can see some that we've already done. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful out of 45 ACP brass. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Aren't they adorable? Now remember, this is advanced swaging, guys, so you're going to see things here today that are going to scare a lot of you guys into not wanting to try them out. I understand that. Like I said, this is for advanced swagers, advanced loaders only. So you guys are going to see this press flex like never before. That's okay, because we've got it bolted down under some metal plates under there, so it's not going to go anywhere, I hope. And let's get to it, because this is a pretty detailed video. Again, first thing we're going to have to do is get your brass. This is the brass that we've already annealed, and we have a video on annealing brass. I've got some 223. That's for a future video to show you guys how to do something else. No, it's not rifle, because you can't do rifle with the regular dies like this. You've got to have specialty dies, unfortunately. But you can do a lot of the straight walled cases. A lot of the straight wall cases you can make into swage your own bullets for. But rifle like 30 cal is very difficult without specialized tools. So today I got a special guest out here in the shop with me. Let me see if I can get her for you. This is our new member of the family. She's 8 weeks old. Sable German Shepherd. She's be like a light tan color. Her name's Mina. And as you guys know, everything we do around here is based off of a security for the family. So, of course, Mina's a great dog. We've only had her a couple weeks now, and I thought you guys might be interested in seeing what she looks like. But we're training her in German. Nein, Mina. Mina Seitz. Seats. Seats. She's a good girl. She's going through the biting phase right now with the teepee ears. So, you can see her ears up there. She's a good girl, huh? She's a good girl. Well, she's going to get used to hanging around with us, and you'll see her in a bunch of videos, hopefully, when we go out taking her shooting. We're going to train her to hunt. First German Shepherd to retrieve game, I hope. We'll see. She's in, like I said, she's in the biting mode now. So, let's get back to the swaging. We want to get her used to, you know, guns, gunshots, riding in cars, all that good stuff that we do with dogs. You guys know what I'm talking about. So she's just hanging around over here, getting used to what we're doing. So if you guys see me futzing on the side, you know what's happening. Alright, well, start off, you got your 45 cal brass, and you've got it annealed. And I like to use SMB because I hate SMB brass. I think it's a pain to load because their primer pockets are always on the small side, and you got to ream them out. And then we've got, this is a Lee 310 grain 44 mag round. We cast it out of pure lead. This is going to be our core. So you guys know the drill. What you would do is go through, and you could be as technical as you want with this, go through and weigh these out. I'm getting about 395 grains, 396 grains with these, with the SMB brass, which is not that bad. We're being pretty consistent. Mina, come here. So first thing you want to do is take your core. After you match them up, you drop them inside of your case. Mina, here. And of course, for this exercise, we're going to need lots and lots of case wax. So, this is the case wax we've been using for the last couple years now. Works really, really well. First thing we're going to do is you're going to use your 300 Win Mag full length sizer right here. You take the sizer, and what we're going to do is we're going to use this to push in the core, and then take the stem that comes with your 457 Lee sizing push through sizer die. Well, as a quick aside, I wanted to go through a couple of pointers that we found out while we were doing some testing and stuff. Some guys, when I showed them the methods and how we were shooting at one of our gun clubs, was asking me about seating these a little bit bigger, deeper, harder into the case. That way case bulges out a little bit more. You can do that, and what we found was we took a 7/16 bolt, and what we did is we cut the head off, and we cut the part where the threads were, and we took this, which is nice, it's a straight shank, and we just flattened it using a sander, but we didn't use using a belt sander. We didn't do anything special to it. We didn't really make a square. You don't need to. All you needed to do is to go up into the die to give you a little more leverage. So what I would do, if you guys, if you choose to, you can do it this way also, but I've always shot them the way I showed you the first way without having this as giving you additional leverage. But you can use this and help it push your, when you seat your core, you can seat the core a little bit harder. And what I do is I'll seat it and then I give it a little bit of a twist. That way it's really nice and symmetrical. And you can go as far as you want with your seating. And you can see this way seats them a little bit more. You can push them even more if you want. But you got to remember one thing. When you do that, because you're pushing them in this way, you're going to deform your rim. And you need the rim for when you put them through your sizer. See, this still fits because you're going to put these through your 45 ACP sizer die. So you can put as much pressure as you want on this. Just make sure the rim doesn't get too deformed where you can't fit it. When it starts to stick, you just use your punch. It falls right out. See? Now you can see here how we pushed it in. It's seating really nice, and we can still seat it to resize it. So I mean, if you want, you can even push it down even more. So this is something else. This is another trick. Like I said, there's millions of ways, different ways to skin a cat. This is the way we do it. If you guys like it, great. You don't like it, well, what can I tell you? Go out and spend 75 cents to $1 per bullet. But these work just as well. See? So now you can see how much of a bulge we got in here just by seating it like that. Well, one more thing I wanted to mention that came up during our initial testing was once you use this other method I was showing you, see, this is what they look like when you insert the cores, and this is what they look like after you seat them. They're going to puff out some more. Once you do that, you're going to have to run them back through the resizer die, and what you're going to want to do is you want to size all the way down to the base as close to the web as you can get. If you've got a small base sizer die for a 45 ACP, go ahead and use it. I don't think they make them. They may. I gotta look. I'm not sure. But otherwise, what you could do is just use your regular 45 ACP die like we showed in the video, and just over cam it. So what you do is you set it up, and then this is at the end of the stroke. You want to bring it all the way down so you get a full tight seal against the bottom of the die. That way, you're definitely sizing all the way to the bottom, because you're going to need every inch of help doing it when you push them through your final size die. And of course, always use lube, good lube. So, see? And what you're going to be doing is, see, you're getting that, the camming will help you size all the way down to the bottom, because when you push just through the size die, remember, you're going to be sizing down this right here, the case head, as well as the base web over here. So I mean, if you can, and like I said, this is just like a touch and go thing where you're gonna have to make your own adjustments and see what's going on. Maybe these branded dies, they work for me, they may not work for you, so just go around and you're gonna have to do some experimentation. And of course, this is a Lee full length 45 sizer, so something to keep in mind as you're trying to do your loading. Now you want to get one of these extended handles that we have here, just because it gives you a little more leverage. Sometimes I'll use a piece of regular brass that's been unannealed to give me a little more leverage on my bullet. That way I could kind of seat it a little bit stouter. Just put it up like that and just give it a little, and you see the press flexing, but we get a little bit more leverage. We push the bullet down just a little bit more, seat it just to give it a little bit more strength. Or you could use a washer that's this diameter, anything that's that diameter, just to give you a little more leverage, a little more leeway there. There we go. To help seat your bullet, and you get a really cool looking nose on there. Now, these bullets, I've shot these at pigs before, and I've had them go straight through pigs, but the jacket will stay inside, which is really cool. So they work. They're powerful. The only thing is you want to make sure that they're legal to use in your area, because they're lead, of course. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to use the 45 ACP full length die, because we got to size these down a little bit. They're too big to go the way they are now into our sizer and our former. So this takes a couple of steps. We're going to take our 45 die now with the punch removed, and we're going to swap out and put our 45 shell holder. And what we're doing now is we're going to uniform the size back down. A little bit of lube on them. And like I said, I mean, this is the way we do them. You don't have to do them this way. If you guys have a better way of making them, heck, send us a video, because we're always looking for improvements. This is the way we've done them. I've shot them like this. Never had any problems. People ask about the hardness of brass and, brass in your barrel. You get brass in your barrel, but it's like anything, you clean it out. You use, you can use, I like Butch's Borshine. That seems to take care of everything. That just scrubs everything out. They're ready to make the point. And for the point forming operation, I use the 243 WSSM, the Winchester Super Short Mag. See how fat that is? It makes a nice round hole, nice round point on it. Let me show you what I'm talking about. And we're going to use the stem from the sizer. And again, you want to put liberal lube across the top, because you want the brass to flow. You don't want it to get stuck, especially in the sizer. This forms the ogive. Bring it down, and this will take a little bit of fine tuning. And when I mean fine tuning, it means you've got to kind of see, we still have a little bit of give on there. We'll put that on there, and you've got to adjust your die to where you can you can stop the ram when it goes up. That way you have a consistent seating, and then you could turn it a third of the way and do that again. You see, you formed your ogive. And look at these things. They look like bricks. These are flying bricks, I like to call them. They're nasty, nasty, nasty. And you see how simple it is to make them. And the whole thing is, you've got to use annealed brass, soft lead. See? If you get a little bit of a crimp in there, don't worry about it. And you could adjust your die, go down a little deeper. You want to put a little bit more of a... Now remember, there's no support in here, because the die body is about ½ inch bigger. So, because there's not really any dies that are tight enough to support it while we're forming the nose. So I like to go in and do it a couple times, turn it 1/4 inch, and that'll form your nose pretty nicely. Make sure they're lubed across the top right here. There you go. Use your punch. See, they should just pop out. You shouldn't have any. It looks like I got some kind of junk in the die here. So I'm getting a little bit of a bend right there, but I'm not worried about that. We just use our lube here and we'll clean it out. There we go. Make sure that your bullets, the cases, are lubed up where the ogive is going to be formed, right around here. Okay. There we go. So that was the easy part. See, we formed our ogive. We got our bullets all nice and ready to go. Next thing we're going to do, yeah, see, I've got a little piece of brass sticking in there. That's why it was making that little ding. But just use a Q-tip. You can go in there and remove it. And there we go, clean it out. Clean your die out a little bit. No big deal. There we go. That way you don't have any imperfections on your ogive. Now here comes the fun part, and like I said, you guys might not want to watch this, and for any of you press Nazis out there, give me a break, would you? It does the job. So, our Lee 457 sizer, push-through sizer, unmodified, right? You get a liberal amount of lube on your bullets, right here. And what we're going to do is right now, let me show you what we're at. We're at 462 and a half, which are 62666. I'm sorry, 46567. We're at 4.467, which is way too big. So we got to get these down. So now you got a lot of lube in there, right? Here comes a part. It's going to scare a lot of people. You've got to use some brute force. As long as you got enough lube on here, your rounds will be fine. Brute force. A lot of leverage. Whoop. There we go. Same thing with the next ones. Brute force. You may want to use your bit right there to keep them from popping out, because that will happen. And they land on the ground, and see, we got a flat spot on our nose. We'll try to clean that up with the ogive one more time. But there you go. If you want to do it again, put them back in. Put them back through. Don't let this scare you. These dies are cheap. Once you load up 50 of these, believe me, you do 50 of these suckers, they already pay for themselves. That's the best part about this. The equipment is cheap. The tools are cheap. So you don't have to worry about ruining an expensive $400-500 set of dies. And there you go. They're sized up. And grab some calipers here and check what we got. And we are, I know I should be using a micrometer, a ball micrometer, but 5, 6, 7, almost 4, 5, 7, maybe 4, 5, 8. 4, 5, 8, 9, yeah. So we're 4, 5, 8, which is acceptable. 4, 5, 8, yeah. See? So we are ready to load up. If you want, 7, 8, yeah. We're 4, 5, 4, 5, 8, 4, 5, 7 and a half. Probably 4, 5, 7 and a half. Now remember, you'll get a little bit of a spring back on it, and that's what I'm talking about. Here's 4, 5, 7 and a half. Yeah, I'm thinking they're 4, 5, 7 and a half. Now, you can always modify this die. Remember, open it up on our prior videos if you want. Now, if you want to put, you want to clean up your ogive a little bit, you know, maybe reinforce it, just stick it back in. And get your ogive set. So, it's pretty simple, pretty basic. Remember, you always want to run it back through your final size die before you load them up. Otherwise, you can create a really dangerous situation and blow up your gun. Always, I can't stress that enough. Size your bullets. One last time. Just because you can. Oh, and for those of you guys who are out there saying, why don't you just cast your own bullets? I love casting my own bullets. I cast my own bullets also. But we do this because we can. That's why. Pretty simple, straightforward. If you guys have any questions, send them on over. That's about it. Load up your die. Load up your bullets now. They're ready to go. We've got, I prefer 24 grains of 2400, Alliant 2400, just because it's a nice soft shooting load. It'll shoot low, shoots low in my gun by about 5 inches. So if you go, you know, hold it up a little bit, adjust your gun for what you need, you got yourself. And these things are like flying bricks. They are unbelievably huge. And these are about 395 to 400 grains. So if you guys have any questions, you just saw how we did it. You use your 300 Win Mag full length die with decapper removed to seat the core. Then you're going to use your 45 ACP full length die with the decapper removed to do a one seating, or I'm sorry, just to resize them. Then you're going to use the Winchester 243 Winchester super short mag to form the ogive like we've done here. And then what you're going to do is you use the 457 sizer die as your final die sizer. So, and what that's going to do is that'll make sure everything's in spec, because you do not want to shoot oversized bullets in your gun. You'll blow up your gun. And like I said, with the leading, don't worry about the leading or the brass fouling. I wouldn't worry about brass fouling because, number one, it comes out using Butcher's bore shine. You're not going to ruin your barrel. This is a annealed, annealed brass. It's softer than copper, so I wouldn't worry about that, you guys. So good shooting, have some fun. We're going to load some of these up and take them out in the field, and we'll do some groups. You guys take a look and see how these things will fly. 395, 396 grainers. I mean, if you guys want bigger rounds, like I said, just cast a heavier bullet. Until next time. As a quick aside, I wanted to show you guys this, the newest issue of Hand Loader, and I know you guys all get Hand Loader, right? Good. And the newest issue of Hand Loader does, Big Punch for the 4570. How appropriate. We got an article here talking about the 4570 load, and my oh my, look what it says here. I mean, look at those. Those are beautiful bullets, right? Look at this. Wow, 295 grain lever. I think these two are brass. Look at that. Brass, turned down brass, if I'm not mistaken. And if I am mistaken, I'm sure one of you knuckleheads will let me know. So, you're shooting brass here. What's the difference between us making them and buying them pre-made? Another thing I want to zoom in on is, look at this. What he says here in this article, and this is by John Haviland in the latest Reloader. It says, price is the only problem with these jacketed bullets. Barnes bullets cost $1 a pop. Barnes Busters are $1.25, all the way up to $2.50 a shot. So, if you guys could learn to make these, and I mean, think about it. You go through a couple dies making a couple hundred rounds, it is well worth it. You guys will save buku bucks, man, when you're doing yourself. So, just something for you guys to think about. This is a great article, by the way. If you haven't picked up, latest issue, they go through and look at that. Nice. Look at that. Very, very nice. They go through and they show you some of the, nice article. It's a great magazine if you guys are really getting into hand loads. And then they got the load data right here, which is really cool. So just something to think about.